Hey, Lucky. You ready to go?
Lucky, you ready? Welcome to our birdwatching series where we need to spot more species than we did last year, which is 72 birds.
Oh yeah, he's ready.
Is it ready?
Today, we're taking a trip to Ventura to try and spot some shorebirds. Over my short time birdwatching, I haven't gotten very familiar with shorebird identification. So come join us as we take our best shot. We arrived shortly after high tide, and I quickly noticed some gulls and different birds flying by over the ocean in the hard light. Since we haven't been around the ocean recently, it's difficult to identify birds by their behavior. So we quickly noticed that there was a large shorebird that would fiercely flap its wings, while it appeared that the gulls would generally glide with a more relaxed flight pattern. At high tide, Ventura's shoreline has a unique sound to it that I didn't expect. As the waves crash up on the shore, water rushes over large rocks on the beach. The force of the water pushing and pulling the rocks around causes them to shift and clack together. It creates a rolling thunder sound across the whole shoreline.
Lucky, come here. Lucky, come here.
Not surprisingly, Lucky still hates water. As we walked around the shore, we came across some usual urban bird suspects, like the rock pigeon and some song sparrows. Then we came across a great egret. It stood mostly still, but when it moved slowly and gracefully. As we watched the egret, a flock of maybe pelicans flew by in a cool V pattern.
Oh my god, there's so many. I want them to... Are they gonna... They're flying in a V.
We watched the great egret a little while longer before we watched him point to where we would be heading next. Next, we ventured into an estuary, where there were seemingly hundreds of shorebirds waiting for the tide to go out. There were pelicans, gulls, and maybe some egrets in the distance. At this point, I was starting to get a little overwhelmed. Gulls, pelicans, what about sandpipers? I've seen that one Pixar short. Where are those? Well, I got some help from a convenient infographic maintained by the city of Ventura. While it didn't get into the weeds about gulls, the graphic did mention that the pelicans we saw were brown pelicans. It also pointed out egrets, which we had already seen one. Hopefully, we'll see some more of these birds on this walk. Before we kept walking though, I wanted to get some more shots of these cool birds. After doing some research, I believe that this flock of gulls are mostly western gulls, but there are probably some ring-billed gulls here as well. While it looks like there are a bunch of different gulls here because of all the different body colors, that's actually mostly just aging and isn't a useful identifier when it comes to gulls. If you look at this bill here, it has the red mark of a western gull. Also, if you check out these beak lengths, I think that these ones that are shorter are ring-billed gulls. If there are any gull experts out there, please let me know if I'm on the right track, because this is kind of tough. Yeah, we got a mallard. We got a mallard encroaching on the
What are those tall ones with the
seagulls.
thin legs and the brown heads?
I think they're also seagulls.
Oh, just a different color on them?
Yeah. On poster board.
Yeah, I think so.
Lucky was anxious to continue along the path, so we walked on a little farther and came across another egret. However, this time, it was a smaller one. A snowy egret. This guy appeared to be hunting for food in the stream, using his legs to tap the rocks. And I'm guessing he did that to look for evidence of tasty food. While observing the egret, I also snapped some pictures of other birds just to get their identification later. And wouldn't you know it, I came across a new lifer. This is a northern rough-winged swallow. At first glance, I had assumed this was a swift because I'm more familiar with them and their crazy flight patterns, so I'm glad I went back and looked at this photo to double check.
I don't think this is a great eagle.
What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
No, I already told you it's a snowy egret. We were returning to the beach, and I finally have footage of what I've been hearing in different parks for a really long time. I don't know why it does this. I don't know why it kind of sounds like a bird chirp. It's just confusing and it makes me tired.
Don't know what it is.
Well, future me can help with that. Unfortunately, this bird wasn't listed on that infographic by the estuary, but after taking a picture and zooming in, I could tell that this was a double-crested cormorant. Before wrapping up the trip, we returned to the ocean, and I finally caught sight of a bird I was hoping to see. Well, sort of. Here's a willet, and I think this qualifies my Pixar sandpiper dream. There were 3 altogether, looking for food among the sand and the shallow waters. This trip was a low species count for us with only 17 birds. However, 11 of those were new spots for this year. So our new grand total is 52 species for this year. I'm certain that we're going to break our record of 72 species. It's just a matter of how soon. Thanks for watching.